6:08, we'll call the meeting to order. Anything you need to know for your minutes? So when you're ready, you will rise for the pledge.
Go ahead.
Okay. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do you want us to do a roll call or?
I guess so.
Okay, Matthew Smith present.
Andy Wachowski, present.
Bobby Joe Muller present.
Caleb Russell, present.
Maria Mann, present.
Okay, Maria is our council liaison,
Liaison.
is that your correct title?
Yep.
Okay. Unofficial, well, there wasn't a quorum for our March meeting, and our prior meeting was
August 21st.
back in August. So, are we able to approve those minutes, since I think I'm the only one that was present at that meeting?
So here are the minutes. Laura had them partially done.
Okay, so we'll probably have to wait for John and Dawn to be here to approve these?
Yeah, because without them, you don't have enough people. 'Cause-
Correct. Okay. Alright, so we'll hold off on approving the minutes.
Okay. Alright, so I just looked at looked those minutes and created the old business. So Tom McGurran is now resigned. Jerry only was appointed and now he can't be appointed, so he's been unappointed.
Correct.
And now we need to appoint, well, you were here for the last meeting, but you weren't
But there
here
was
for
no
the official.
quorum,
Right,
right.
so we can welcome you as a new member because now it's an official meeting. Both of these we can
Yes.
officially
Did
welcome.
they get sworn in with you?
Yes.
I did not yet.
Did not, cause I didn't meet him until tonight, so.
Okay.
I can swear in right now.
If I had an oath with me, but I had him downstairs.
And there's a financial course, did you take that one yet? Okay. So there's a, I don't remember what it's called, like a financial responsibility
Ethics.
online, yes, that has to be taken, it's a couple of hours.
Okay.
So you would have to take that also.
Okay, and that is available on the
I'll-
website, or you'll send me an
I'll send
email?
you, yeah, now that I
Okay.
send, and, yeah, I was hoping to get everybody's, contact information, I do finally have everybody's cell phones. And I mean, do you prefer what do you prefer, emails or text messages, what's best, or a combination depending on what it's for?
Well, emails for, things like
Like
PDFs,
documents,
documents,
yes.
things like that, text messages for reminders, or hey, we're gonna meet here, we're gonna do that.
Okay, alright, so I guess we'll have, just so it says, you know, it's public, we don't want everyone to write down their personal email, but just make sure that we have them before you guys leave,
Sure.
okay?
Okay, so we still have to appoint a chairperson then?
Yes.
Which everybody said not it.
Caleb wasn't here before.
At the last meeting when we didn't have a quorum,
Right,
the
so-
members that were in attendance
On
were in
officially.
agreement.
So it was going to be Jackie.
Correct.
So,
So do we need like a nomination, or is it just kind of, does someone have to nominate and approve, do we vote on it, or is it just kind of?
I
You're
nominate
it.
Jackie Smith as
I'll second it.
president of the IDA.
President, yes.
Chairperson.
Chairperson.
Where's that president thing?
There we go, I know, right, we're just making president here. We're all the president.
Okay,
Now, was that a mayor's appointment?
This is my first IDA meeting. I'm walking into this cold, like, I backpedaled, I did what I could, but.
I don't believe so, because it looks here that the motion, it was a motion last time.
Was it? Okay, I don't remember when Jerry, or maybe the mayor just
Motion
announced it.
carried. It was done, according to the minutes, it was done via,
Yeah, by Jackie,
motion was
motion carried.
Heckman, second by Jackie
Yeah.
Smith.
Okay,
yeah.
maybe the mayor just had mentioned that. And then-
No, I guess it's a done deal now.
Yeah, you're done.
We're live, so
Freeze you.
everyone's out there.
Hmm.
Alright.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I know last meeting, we had, well, last year's, almost a year ago, the Economic Development Council, which, of course, was that paid? Did she-
No, it's under new, old business, and then if you look, it's the very first item under new business, because when I went to make the agenda, I'm like, did that get done, did it get paid, I couldn't find
So
where a
did
check,
it get paid?
a check was never written.
Good.
So you do not belong to it yet. What I do
Okay.
have is this email that Laura reached out and we just were joining, I guess, so you could do a training, was what I got out of what I was reading. And they don't have remote accessibility for this
Yeah,
academy thing. So
And
I don't
it's
know
very
if
much
because you wouldn't be able to do it remotely if Laura decided then to not do it and bring it back to the meeting, but.
And then never had the opportunity.
So
So
the
the one
the
that I
paperwork
sent
is
you,
here,
did that
I
work?
never, it's all filled out, it's not filled out.
For me.
And that
And I
was for
sent
free.
it to.
So I don't know if you still wanna
That's
do
her
it or not.
I think we probably don't at this time,
Yeah, I wouldn't mind researching a little bit.
right, just to see if we actually would benefit from that.
Right, so if it
Um,
was local, it would be great, but because it's not local, do you wanna spend $850 so
Correct.
that you can attend a
Correct.
you know,
And then probably some additional money on top of
Right,
that for the
then-
actual
right.
training itself.
So
we have to wait
I'm,
until it got to more of a local level and then maybe join.
right,
So-
and, the mayor actually did, he's reached out about trainings for this. So I do have some dates and times, unfortunately, they're all during the day here, so in order to,
Depends on the day.
right, I know, yeah, cause your schedule rotates, and most of these days, I think it was through the end of May, and May is almost up, so we'll have to.
Definitely not tomorrow.
No.
Is that online or in person?
In person.
Where
with,
is it? In Orange
we
County?
would have to figure that out. I think he's willing to come here, so I don't know if we would
Yeah.
have it here.
Mm.
But we'll go over those, I don't think we need
Oh,
to
so
discuss
somebody would
that
come
during.
here and do it, okay?
Right, right.
Alright.
So, we'll work on the training portion also, going forward, so
Table that one for now,
So that didn't happen.
yeah.
until we, yeah.
Alright. This is the application, these are the draft statements. These all want copies of them.
Love financial statements, of course I want copies. Thank you.
So the first one is the schedule of cash and investments, and the second one is the actual financial statements.
Oh, so it shouldn't be too busy then.
So there's two sets of documents. And what I did was I briefly reviewed this compared to the previous year, and it's basically all the same information, there's really no money coming in or going out. The only hiccup with last year was that Laura was attempting to move money from the money market account to the capital account, $250,000, and accidentally put it in the IDA account. And it sat there for 3.5 months before they realized that it didn't make it to the capital account. And then it got moved, so it went in March, went back out in July, at the end of July. So then when they were doing the financial statements, they sent a list of questions, and one of the questions was, how come the interest was so high this year compared to last year?
We were earning 10%.
So I responded that you were earning interest on $250,000 that shouldn't have been in your account.
Is that the $808?
That's the 2,247.
Oh, okay, well, I saw that one
Interest received
too.
from the primary government.
Okay,
So,
800
So the
is a
808
little
is
more
actually
reasonable. Yeah.
what we
So
should
you-
have earned, okay.
Right,
Yeah, because
so-
you're looking at like
5% is what you're getting in like a NILAF or NICOS, which it doesn't look like we're in. So you figure 5% of 30 grand is 1,500 and 800. That's about right for a money market. The 2,200s, that would make it like 10%
So
interest. Would be nice.
I had them do an analysis on how much the IDA would have earned with your own money and not that extra money, so that interest could get moved back to the money market, because the money didn't belong to the IDA, they shouldn't be earning the interest on it. So the amount that they came up with was $2,248.88. I did move that money back, and then based on the questions that they asked when money got moved, if anybody authorized it. So I printed the wire transfer, and I think the chairman should sign it that you've been made aware of I moved that money and why.
And so do you just need us to approve, or what, do you just
Well,
need us
it's
to
already
review
been
and
moved
say?
back, what
Okay.
because the longer it sat there, now you're earning interest on that interest that isn't yours, so I didn't want it to sit there any longer than it needed, or then we'd have to do another transfer. So they were gonna set it up and just carry it as an outstanding reconciling item, and I told them I didn't like that idea, because now we would be carrying that for almost a whole year as like a deposit in transit type of thing on the bank rec, so they, were gonna set it up as a liability as of the end of the year, that the IDA owed that money back to the city's account. And I believe that's the way it's reflected in the, financial statements, that it's a liability that's not paid yet. The other question they keep asking is why we don't have a budget, has the IDA ever had a budget?
That's everybody's staring at me.
So,
Well, this is
Well,
my first
Robin-
meeting, so
I know that Robin would prepare, and basically we don't have any applications, so
so
there's
without
nothing.
an application, the only
We don't-
income is the interest, so the budget would just simply be interest income. So they're looking for a budget for last year and a budget for this year, so last year's over with, so if you want me to, I'll just make up a budget based on what the interest
Because
rates
we don't
are
have any
this year.
applications, we're hoping that
Well, we
with
do
the
have-
annexation, we'll get some.
There has been one application that submitted last year, she was saying.
That we didn't really know about.
Oh, because I don't remember hearing about an applicant.
So, an application came into Laura's email,
I do remember Kelly talking about it.
and she
Last year.
forwarded it to the mayor and Jerry Oney and to Will Frank.
Okay,
And, then the guy asked in the beginning of February for a follow-up, and she never responded. And then the other day, he sent a request and said, what's going on with this? I'm like,
yeah, I wasn't part of that
So I
correspondence.
did the
Who is the
backpedaling,
IDA attorney, who is
No.
the IDA attorney?
It's that, I gave you his name.
Grigliano, I can't say it, Gary Grigliano or something.
Mhm.
But I don't know if that was just, when I was looking at the minutes, I don't know if that was just a special thing because they were discussing the mortgage with Skyline, or if he's the attorney all the time,
I thought that he was the attorney,
all the time,
so that's a question for Will,
alright.
right? Cause we need an attorney, if he's not our attorney, then we need one.
Because there was, Skyline was looking to do something with the mortgage they have with CBA, which is why they have the pilot with us, which was expiring. And that, remember they were trying to get the extension on the pilot?
They already received an extension, and when they asked for an additional one, because they already received one, it's not permissible,
Okay,
so it wasn't approved.
okay.
And I wrote down last month that the attorney will have to come next month, but obviously the attorney's not. And I did write down Jersey Avenue pilot residential / commercial, so it was, I think this project was.
So it was mentioned at the last meeting, that unofficial meeting,
Correct.
but it's not in the July minutes, cause it was after that, it was in between, and then there was no meeting. So I didn't make a bunch of copies of that, I only have 3 sets of that. If anybody wants them, it's,
With that application, can you
Yeah,
just email
the
it to me?
application, I can email it, yeah. It's,
I'll browse on it.
it looks like it's in the parking lot between Neversink Lumber, I'm not sure, from
Okay.
the
And-
edge of the
yeah.
I
building.
remember that conversation.
It's where, the end of Neversink Lumber is where they keep all their lumber on
Is
the
the
left
same
side.
applicant from last year?
I believe so, yeah, it was October last year.
Okay.
And there's a picture all the way on the back that shows like it's a parking garage on the
I
bottom.
remember that.
And, I don't know if it's offices or apartments upstairs,
You said it for
Well, yeah, if it's
Yeah, I
residential.
wrote residential
Say
slash
residential?
commercial, so maybe it would be residential, like commercial on the first floor.
but it looks like the parking garage is on the first floor unless it goes down underground. It's hard to tell without reading the entire proposal, but
How old is this application?
from last year.
Unless it's just the cover page. Is that online? Is this application available online? How does one obtain the application?
they have to fill out and pay a fee in the clerk's office.
Right, that's why it says it's a draft, because they haven't paid the fee, because they don't know if they're eligible, or that's why they wanted the attorney to look at the package to see if they were eligible, I guess,
So they're-
before they paid the money.
So they're gonna build a building with 36 affordable housing units and then 1,800 square feet of storefront on the bottom. Street facing commercial space. 32,000
Mhm.
square feet altogether.
Yes, right, I should have made more, but I didn't know.
We could definitely use more rental inventory, I can tell you that.
I think that maybe we should, reach out to Will,
Well, Will said he's not our attorney for
Right.
IBA.
just to, confirm if we still have one and if it's still the same attorney. Because
I
he's-
thought all the attorneys we were using was within Will's offices now. You know what I mean, that's what, and this guy here is not within Will's group, that's what made me think, was this guy this Sprigliano guy, was he special for that extension of the pilot, or is he the basic IDA attorney? I don't know if it was something special, or,
$11.3 million.
and like you said, it is part of the DRI as well, so he's probably looking for both sides in case it doesn't go through, then he's in place with this.
Are they mutually exclusive? You can't have one or the other. So if you get the DRI, you can't get an IDA,
I don't know
That's a good
that either.
question.
or
I don't know.
I think with the DRI, you can still have, you can still get funding from other sources with it. I don't think it's all or nothing with the DRI, I think it can be combined with other things.
To the $100, is the one, no, is the $100, is that what they pay to the clerk or no? Or is that-
It's
yeah,
more
one
than that.
application fee.
I thought it was a couple grand,
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was somewhere,
and I could maybe, you don't know what the application fee is?
actually, I have something
Why do I wanna say that it was?
on, something old.
Application and processing fee 1,000.
Okay.
And then legal fee.
That might
What
just be
is
under
this?
this other.
This
the
is
New York State
1% of the first 2 million plus 1/2% of the amount above that due at closing. A $5,000 non-refundable due at application,
I remember it
broken down
being,
as follows, ADA
With this guide on
administrative
it.
fee is 2,500, bond counsel fee anywhere from 12 to 15,000. So,
let's go down to 20.
and I don't know how old this is, which is scary,
That
because there's no
sounds-
date on
But
it.
no, that
That sounds
sounds
pretty
more
cool.
like
Yeah.
that,
I wish they had find a date on it, but I,
Do it application balance due at all. Closing for all. Okay. That sounds reasonable, cause you're gonna have lawyers looking over all the
Right.
documents and.
Is there a list of previous projects that the IDA approved, just so we have an understanding of, in the past, what has been done?
from memory, we can go all the way back to,
Future homes.
the Cronar, when they did the solar panels for West End, which turned into Calfort, that switched over to, tomato sauce and candy. That was the first project like I can remember going back.
When I came on, it was
Skyline.
Future Homes.
Future Homes with IDA and the Kmart Plaza. We have the, Water's Edge or River's Edge, I guess, I never get the name right.
Water's
River's
Edge, Water's Edge,
Water's Edge.
which I believe theirs is up soon.
They pay based on units. And I think the Port Jervis Housing Authority, I think that one's federal, I don't think that one's through the IDA, that's a federal
Not that
one.
I recall. It could have been before.
But as far as the pilots go, this was the last year for Skyline and it was the last year for, Kmart Plaza. for Both of them were ending this year.
That's the planned look of it. In between, I'm
Summer.
guessing that's
Yeah,
the lumber.
yes, the garage.
That's what made me think a location, because I could see the lumber, I'm like, this looks like it's in the parking lot where Neversink Lumber meets,
Yeah,
So like these would be all apartments, and this I'm guessing would be the, well, there's only one street, so that's gotta be the street facing storefronts.
and then there's a tunnel on the end to go down into the parking garage or something,
That's
which
pretty
really
neat.
looked neat.
And bring 36 new units to the
I like the idea.
area.
Like
Parking.
high-end units.
Says affordable. Which is a loose term nowadays, but.
Everything is relative.
Correct.
Affordable to whom?
To people working, you know.
So the risk of sounding ignorant is, does it say on here what he's applying for, or, and this might be something that I'm going to be taking in this financial, training that I need to take. Is it our discretion as to which schedule we put them on, or is it determined by the size or,
I'd have
nature
to-
of the project?
I would have to do research on that kind of
Okay.
stuff.
Which I will do,
Yeah.
I'll do too, yeah.
I'm not, you know, up on all this stuff, you know, I've never been involved in it. I only became familiar with it because I had to do the pilot billing
Mhm.
on March 15th
Yeah,
and dove into
Well,
that.
familiar on the other side of it, like as the school.
so is this, we're requesting a 30-year post-construction pilot term? As such, we are prepared to commit 30 years of affordable housing. So is this,
The IGA does not
You have to
go
do an
into
extension
that
to get there,
many
yeah.
years. I wanna say, is it 10 or 15?
It's 15,
They don't do 30, and that's when you,
you have to do an extension to
and they
get up
allow
to there.
one time.
and how long of an extension?
That I have to look up, but I'd imagine you can't go past 15.
I don't even know if it's,
I'd imagine
need
to
to
the
brush
30,
up on
you'd
my
have to do
IDA.
15 and then do the extension.
you know what it is,
I've
because we
seen
haven't
20 and
business.
25, I haven't seen a 31. Doesn't mean they don't exist.
Let me,
Coming from the school side, is
Yeah.
how we go. I'm interested, they did it for the Eldred Preserve, they gave them 15, and then they extended it 10. So I know you can legally do that far.
Okay.
I don't know beyond that, never seen it.
that sounds more like,
But that, even that's considered relatively generous, because it's 25, but I'm just trying to figure out, just, you know, cause they have them, when they put class on the top, it makes you think that there's some kind of criteria that allows you to fall into one of them. I'm not sure if that's
No,
true.
I know know that like with the Kmart Plaza over there,
Oh,
they
yeah,
were
they do.
paying certain percentages based
You
on
got it?
like percentages
Oh,
of
on the following
completion.
pages, class one, class two,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
They were right on the
But
following
does it say
page.
Does it say what the A's and the B's are? Oh, yes, it does, lead certified, lead silver, lead gold. Okay.
We do have DRI right in there. So they're looking to get part of it.
Yeah,
from
cause
the
he
DRI.
broke down all, like, the financials of everything that he's looking for.
Might be able to do class 5.
I don't think that the last time that they got their extension, it wasn't for more than 5 years.
That's what I used to see, 5.
Because I've been on the IDA now since 16 or 17. And they already had it and they came back to the IDA for an extension which the board approved, and then they wanted another one and then it wasn't approved because you can only do it one time.
Right, so you can carry, like, if they're getting a mortgage, like with CBA, they can carry that mortgage for 30 years, but they can't carry the pilot for 30 years. The pilot doesn't coincide with the length of the mortgage.
I'm trying to look at my old emails.
It does say that we can deviate from these. The justification. Everything 15 years is. And it looks like they would class, so they're mixed use, so class 5 is relatively generous, that's 8 years and 0
Robin used to bring us
taxes.
the schedule, just like what they have there. And who had pilots and when it was due to expire and the amount of savings that they had. I'm trying to find it.
Well, you have to go back 3 years to find that.
It's probably 18, 19.
Like I said, I didn't know anything about this until I got the email that
No.
says, what's the status of this application? I'm like, I didn't know there was an application. And then, like I said, the previous thing was February something, and Laura had never replied to it. I didn't even know it was sitting there. She left at the end of February.
Right.
And then that backpedaled me to the October, which is where I found this and printed it all from the October. And I didn't even know anybody would really wanna comb through it for sure, because, you know,
And the other thing is that, I mean, going that far back to when Robin was here, things change, right? Things do change, so we have to make sure we're,
still in compliance with certain
Mhm.
things, yeah. And I think the Skydyne extension was probably the last thing that got handled by Robin just before she left. Cause it was a revised schedule for that.
So it looks like maybe class 5 it is. I don't know if we're gonna have another meeting in the near future where the lawyer is going to be available.
that's what we,
Because you can deviate from the policy, I don't know what the circumstances are, I don't feel comfortable voting on it without
Oh.
a lawyer telling me I could do it.
Yeah, like I didn't even know if I should bring this to the meeting since the lawyers hadn't reviewed it, because Will said, you know, I told Laura that's not mine, you know, but he didn't say it in the email, he must have spoke to her
so
on
I
the
did
phone.
find
Cause when I
a,
sent it to him, he, you know, like I told her, I'm not the attorney for that, it had nothing to do with me.
so when we have our audit done, right, so when we had Bonadio, the
Previously.
IDA is the first one that they do to get it
Out of the way, and the CDA. And they asked in the audit who the
Because I
attorney
see one
was,
from
so
them
I
from
told them,
2017, I could forward that to you if you want. I don't know if you wanna look at it or not.
what, you mean, the pilot
As
stuff?
far as, the assets, you brought that up earlier, like operating revenue and operating expenses. I'm trying to see if I can find a schedule.
I mean, I still do have Robin's old email, if it's from, I can go back and search her email
Alright,
for
so then
that
don't
stuff.
send it, you want it?
Well, you can send it, Dad, and it'll keep me, then I don't have to dig for it tomorrow, time tomorrow gets here.
I don't know if that's gonna help you or not.
Probably a copy of whatever you sent her in the,
2018,
in the IDA folder, but it's not
Budget
broken out by
changes.
years, it's just one huge folder that's like,
Yeah.
10 years worth of documents. It's like, you're searching all kinds of stuff. And this wasn't even saved, it still isn't, I didn't even save it into the IDA folder because, again, we don't know what we're doing
It's
with
very
it.
preliminary.
Right, so without somebody making a payment, should we even be sending it to the attorney for review if they're not gonna pay
I know in the
Well,
past that you
you know,
had
I
to
don't-
submit the application with payment.
with a
and-
payment?
Well, yeah, cause there's that $2,500 is a council fee.
Mhm.
Right,
You know,
so-
send it
Yeah,
to a lawyer
Marvin
and say,
never
"Now I'm
took
on
an
the hook for it."
application
Right.
without getting the payment, that I remember.
So this is all I have, this guy sent it to Laura,
Mhm.
and she then sent it to the mayor and Jerryoni and Will, back on October, and
So I
that's it.
found a pilot that the council voted on with a resolution.
I mean, you would think that maybe there should be a basic fee just for the attorney to look at the
Yeah,
paperwork
because
without
it's,
initiating the whole mess, so that they don't pay a ton of money for something that doesn't, work.
That kinda, I don't know, some of that
So
cost
is there
kinda
an
goes with a
application, is there an
$12 million
application,
project.
Yeah.
application fee, 5,000, non-refundable, do it
That's-
application, so without that
It's
fee, can we even
non-refundable.
send this to the
and
attorney?
that's why,
Is that, oh, you have a different one than I have, see, I've got this,
So I'm
this one's
looking
from
at
2009. So
So,
you've got
I don't
application fee
know how-
5,000, do an application broken down as follows,
Yeah, look, this is-
administrator plus bond council fee.
revised proposed 100 River Road.
I don't
pilot
know.
schedule. So
You know what I
Robin
mean?
used to send it,
On this,
So-
on the
it went from 2015 to
Um,
2024,
floor.
and that was a percentage, so
Cleaning
she
stuff up.
provided us.
Yeah, that looks like a much more current one.
I mean,
This
if
one's
it's in
revised
there,
4/21/09.
If you wanna
Okay.
read through it and get some back history.
Yeah.
This one's from 2015, I
2014.
can't believe it's on. Been on for a while.
Yeah, you thought it was just 17.
It was the first committee I was appointed to,
Yeah.
and then tourism.
To commit to a 30-year affordable housing term to be discussed.
Like everybody pays that bill. I know.
Here's a resolution, the 3312 wrote, that's from 2013, but this is just miscellaneous stuff.
Mine goes back to 2015 so
March
far.
2014 is the 3312 groups paperwork. 2014, so we have to see when the last, schedules were made for fees, like when were they last voted on to see how, if this is the current fee schedule, I don't even know.
Right, cause have other municipalities raised the fees, is it
Right.
set by the state?
I think it's a,
Set by the
I
state.
think, don't quote me.
I don't know. That's why we're gonna go for training.
Like this could be current or it could be 10 years old, I just.
This will have, this, wherever you got this application, then if that one's current, then they need to update the application's fee schedule. Cause that's got $1,000 application processing fee, then a project commitment legal fee, which isn't due until it's fully executed. And then everything else is based on percentages. No, down there you got post-closing items for Bond Street. Oh, never mind, that's a
What's the revision?
lease transaction. That
Oh,
one's
no.
4/21/09. So that might just have to get,
I wonder if that's in our code, would that fee be in the city's code or not?
I have to go back and research it. Not from my phone where my eyes are starting to go.
I bet.
I don't want that word. I want that code. I don't know.
That's because, I mean, the chairperson listed, I think. Even passed away.
That's how old it is, right?
Yeah,
2 or 3 years ago.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
what's
The
that?
person listed as chairperson is deceased for a few years.
So we gotta get them an updated,
Right.
Yeah. Hate's been gone for quite some time,
oh, yeah.
and
Yes.
yeah,
So that's how many years ago they started the application and now they just submitted it in 2023.
I doubt that. I don't know about that. Do you
Or did
think
they
that?
copy somebody else's?
I mean, you see,
They might have
this
found
fee
it
schedule
online
was
somewhere.
revised in 2009.
They might have found like an
Appendix
old
F.
one on a website somewhere and just printed it up, not knowing where to.
Right.
Change some information here, there, and everywhere. And
Yeah.
This looks good. Let's
Well, they do mention it's a draft one and they wanna
Yes.
start discussions. I don't know what the, procedure is to start those discussions. What exactly is affordable?
It doesn't mention that in the application.
He said they'll discuss it,
Oh, okay. Lots to discuss.
to be discussed. So basically, that mentions in here that the viability of the project is somewhat contingent on pilots and sales tax exemptions they might receive. It says,
that's like 100 Pike Plaza, there was an additional form that had to be submitted for sales tax exemptions when they were
Yeah.
building it out.
and he's hoping to get 30 years, which I don't know the legality of, but then says they'll commit to 30 years of affordable housing to be discussed. So I said, I don't know what, and today's market is rough. I know the Tudor Gardens apartments used to cost $765 maybe 8 years ago. Now a single bedroom there is $1,600. I think Church Street is $1,400-1,500 for a single bedroom.
Right.
So,
Yes.
Oof.
I do understand the market is high, so if they come in high, then it's like, is affordable $3,000 for something? Well, is it affordable, or are we
Well,
like
the top
subsidizing
floor
this
should have a
luxury
river
stuff?
view, right?
That's true. Well, but you expect, so then you expect those to cost a little
Except for the
more.
trees on the riverbank that you
Yeah.
can't see over.
So you expect those to be a little more expensive than a river view, but the lower floors. So I guess that's a discussion. I don't know what
Yeah,
I don't know what the board's.
Can't resolve anything with
Right,
it.
so like what is the next step on this? Are we,
I can't remember.
do we reach out to the person and say we need an updated application and the
And they need
fee
to pay the
before we
fee.
send it to our attorney? Cause right now
We need
that's,
to find out
And
who
we
the
pay-
attorney is.
There should
That
be
would be
money
useful.
set aside,
Yes.
in IDA, there should be money set aside for attorney.
Is that part of the budget that would be made?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea
The
to
prior
do,
council put that in place, Bobby
Well,
Jones.
that might be part of
Consider-
the application fee.
you're new to this too?
Yes.
Okay, so we all probably could, use some refreshing too on what the parameters are in terms of us reaching out to people before they've had a full application, all that. I know that the IDA that I've dealt with do negotiate with the people to some extent, but like I know certain committees are, look, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to call them up outside of here and be like, hey, let's go talk on the corner of the street and work out a deal. So I wanna kind of come up with like, do we invite them here? Do we
Right.
discuss that? Probably happen outside of a
So
board
typically in the
meeting.
past, it would be the, clerk treasurer and the chair with the attorney that would correspond. And, I mean, I wasn't even aware about the applicant from over a year ago. I wasn't part of that correspondence. But it's usually the clerk, the chair, the mayor, definitely the mayor, councilman at large, and the attorney. So whether it be Will for now until we have an answer as far as who the attorney is for IDA.
I think it might be that Griglianico guy, but at the same time, it might have just been a special circumstance
could have
with
been.
the sidelines, and I don't know if it
Well,
was a
then we need to
one-time
get an
thing, or.
attorney.
In any of your old emails, is there an attorney copied on anything, or don't?
There's
aren't
plenty.
they?
There's plenty, throughout the years,
Does it
That
change
most-
with when the council hires new council?
I mean, when I was on, it was,
Counsel.
Mr. Fox. Michael Fox was the attorney for the IDA, and then it
I
was.
saw his name on one of these emails.
Yep, he was one of the attorneys, and then he, moved on. Was there an attorney, Gunderman? That name?
I don't know, he's just too old.
I'm looking.
Says Mr. Rubens, I wonder if.
That's it. I knew it was with a G. I knew it, alright?
These
I
are just
don't-
old
I was
minutes.
kinda
that
close,
happened
but
to
not
be
really.
Surface and the stuff I was working on, but this was back when Mr. McCarthy was still involved too.
Mm-hmm.
McCarthy, and then it says Mr. Rubens distributed documents for the members to review. Who replaced him? Well, I would think the attorney is somebody that gets, do you elect or appoint at the beginning of each year?
Right, then the
for a
council
1 year
would,
or 2 year
that's why I'm
term?
wondering if it's through Will's firm, because they are who,
The council is using currently.
right.
The council set and approved, set money aside for attorney expenses, which
But we
is the
just don't know
IDA.
what attorney.
I'd have to go back and look at my old notes.
2014.
I'm not.
Sounds like
pretty
it might
sure.
be Grigliano though.
Mm,
That's what she thought last, well, 2 months ago.
That's
the
why maybe
last
if we
meeting.
reach out to Will, and if it's not him, then maybe he can recommend to the board.
Maybe I should just go through all the minutes tomorrow
Oof.
backwards until I find and whatever attorneys.
I mean, the
Gets
IDA doesn't
appointed.
meet every month because it's, there's
Make
nothing on
looking
the
for minutes
agenda.
easy.
I think this is the longest meeting that I've had since I've been on the IDA.
It might be worth
It's
it
good
to do
though.
an extra month though, in this case, this
Yeah.
is
No,
a worthwhile
we
project
know,
to look into
you know,
if it,
and,
I just gotta investigate and know more about it,
yeah.
but.
Definitely.
Seems to me like some of their information may not be up to.
And they acknowledge that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I
Just-
mean, it's
Just
just,
looking at
He
a
just
few of
wants
the
to get the
fees
ball
and
rolling,
things and.
hoping to.
Right,
This,
yeah.
this resolution is from 2022, June
Okay.
29th of 2022. And this resolution says that the agency hereby authorizes the chairman to engage the firm of Gorigliano Law Offices LLP
Yeah.
as a special counsel. See, it says as a special counsel, so that's why I'm wondering, is
Was it
he-
just for the skydive case or
Right,
not?
that's when I start, that's why I got that in my head, is he the real attorney? Because this says as special counsel in
I'm just hoping
connection
Will can
with the
answer that.
pending refinance of the project. And that's the last thing that I think I had come across with an attorney's name on it that gave us information.
Alright, so, should we kind of give a list of what we need? Cause, you know, there's nothing we can do with this
Right now, yeah, no, absolutely not.
So, who, will you reach out to Will, will you reach out to Will to see if he knows who our attorney is, if it's someone in his office for IDA?
Look at what Dominic did in the first meetings of the year. 'Cause isn't that when we appoint the attorneys
We did
and
not
all that?
appoint an attorney for IDA.
I don't think it wasn't broken out, I do remember that Will's firm was approved, but I don't think there was a specific.
Specific
Right.
IDA attorney appointed.
Correct.
Okay. And it could have been that this guy was appointed for this thing because we didn't have one, because there hasn't been any applications or business
For a while.
in a while.
And maybe
So
he
why
was
would you wanna
willing-
keep paying an attorney on a
Mhm.
retainer when you don't have any business?
Correct.
So
Maybe
that's-
because he was with the town, he's willing to honor kind of rates and things like that, which saves the IDA from going out for an RFP and engaging their own lawyer, and reach out and say, hey, are you gonna give us the same rates as the town, you're already on retainer for them,
Right. Alright,
or city, not town.
Alright, so you'll work
Yeah,
on finding out who the
I'll
attorney is?
talk to Will tomorrow and
Yeah,
see if
just
I
get
can
that so that way
iron it
this
out to find
application
out
can
who
be, it's not fair,
Keep them waiting.
right?
Alright, so that's all the stuff is this just for Maria to see if she has anything that she wants to add?
Yeah, that was just on the previous agenda, so I just left it there.
Like.
Like I said, I just,
Well, we're hoping to have more applicants with the annexation, and we have an applicant that's been waiting way too long.
Right.
7 months.
Well, you know, and
Yeah, I mean, the application doesn't have any dates on it, right? Where they
And I'd asked that I be in the loop. You know, whether you get the email or at least Jackie, who's chair now. Usually I would be included as liaison. And the mayor, we want the
right,
mayor.
you were liaison back then, so
And-
Laura should have included
but I
you in
wasn't-
that one.
And I wasn't included. Why, I don't know. Was the chair included on that email?
The
It's
email
just
went to the mayor, Jerry Oni, and Will Frank.
Okay, so it's the chair, so now at least, please
Yes.
know that, well,
Yeah.
that
keep everyone informed.
you need to,
And I
Be in the
mean,
loop.
I was gonna send the financials out and this stuff in advance, but I just.
Right, and we'll get all of everyone's
I will say
contact
when Mr.
information.
McCarron was the chair of the IDA, if he would call me, to let me know, that there was an applicant that was looking, I will say that about him, are you ready?
Yeah, why not?
Piece of cake.
Any questions? Just hang out, we'll get information and discuss training after. Anything else for the meeting?
I'd like for you to also, I need to do a refresher as well, a refresher training, so you wanna keep me in
Yes.
mind for that, in my spare time,
Yes.
in all of our spare time.
Yeah, I definitely would need to do it as well.
Yeah, I
because
just
I'm-
wanna kinda know the, thank you.
Oh.
I was gonna write my, email down for
Oh,
you.
perfect. Alright, so, motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
6:50.
Am I allowed to second or does it have to be?
I second.
Okay.
Because I don't even know if I have a vote.
All in favor?
I don't have a vote.
I don't either.
Okay.
Marie?
Sure.
Say good night.
Good night.
I think you got it.
Yes.